Alright, welcome back. There's a dark fantasy RPG coming in 2026 that most people aren't paying enough attention to, and that game is the Blood of Dawnwalker. It's being made by former Witcher 3 developers and is built around a 30-day and 30-night narrative structure. And it's not trying to be a 200-hour open world wild out game. Instead, it's doing something way more interesting. Today we're breaking down what this actually means for this game, how its systems work beneath the surface, and why it could end up being one of the most unique RPGs of the generation, if it sticks the landing with what it's trying to do. We'll talk story, combat, day-night duality, and the design choices most previews gloss over. Let's break it all down. So what makes Dawnwalker different than other RPGs? So at first glance, Dawnwalker looks familiar. Medieval Europe, swords, vampires, dark magic, but here's the key difference. Time itself is a mechanic. You play as Cohen, a man turned into a Dawnwalker, half human, half vampire, and your goal is simple. Save your family within 30 days and 30 nights. But this is not a real countdown. Time only advances when you commit actions. Quests, decisions, major story beats. You can kind of move around the world and the time is not counting against you. But when you're doing different things outside of wandering, which is safe, you're gonna have to make some choices. Every choice you lock in pushes the clock forward. That means you can't do everything at once. And the game is designed that way on purpose. This is what the developers call a narrative sandbox. So what is that? In Dawnwalker, there's no clean separation between main quests and side quests. Everything exists on the same level. Some quests you'll never see. Some stories will resolve without you. And some consequences only happen because you choose to act or choose not to act. This isn't about mini-maxing content. It's about owning your version of this story. That design philosophy should sound familiar because it comes straight from the Witcher lineage. So let's talk about the day and night cycle and what happens with the buffs. So the day-night system isn't cosmetic. By day, Cohen plays more like a grounded human fighter, swordplay, positioning, tactical combat. At night though, everything changes. You gain vampiric abilities like Shadow Step, which isn't just a combat move. It's a traversal tool, rooftops, balconies, alternate infiltration routes, entire paths that weren't open that now open up that didn't exist before during the day. Even the same quests play out differently depending on when you attempt it. This isn't just dual builds, it's dual level design. And that sounds really deep. Let's talk about their combat systems. Combat is described as directional and deliberate, closer to cinematic dueling than button mashing. That's a heavy focus on reading enemy intent, precise counters, controlled aggression, and then there's the bloodlust element. At night, Cohen must feed on enemies, animals, or even villagers, or manage it through consumables. That creates a subtle morality system that's handed through mechanics, not dialogue wheels. You feel the consequences before the game ever tells you about them. So the game has a ton of lore. One revealed quest at the cathedral shows just how deep this goes. You encounter an ancient vampire tied to the ruling power of the land, a ritual known as blood baptism, and a legendary figure who goes by Saint Mahai, who is himself a Dawnwalker, entombed alive, regenerating endlessly. Depending on the time of day, the ancient vampire appears in different states. This is world building done through systems, not exposition dumps. So let's talk about kind of their philosophy when it comes to the development. Rebel Wolves has already shown they're iterating based on feedback, adjusting camera, distances, fight flow, and presentation before launch. That's rare for a new studio. They're not promising endless scale and they'll be doing this forever, but they're promising density, consequence, and replayability. So what should you be watching for with the Dawnwalker? This is the big question. If you're burned out on open world, big mission-filled games, this might be exactly kind of what you're looking for when it comes to a new game and a new IP. And if you loved things like The Witcher, Dawnwalker isn't looking to copy it. It's trying to evolve it, honestly, and it's looking really good. Judging by some of the gameplay that we see with Dawnwalker, it seems to have a really high cinematic value, and the game looks really good in that regard. So when you see some of the quests that you're doing, they have multi-layered explanations and NPC tier lists as far as what their responses will be and what the AI will grant you as far as you actually pulling information out of them. So that in itself had me intrigued, and some of the lore in which is in this game is very, very deep. There's a lot of things in the game that show you that the game isn't going to be a very surface level game. There's a lot of different talking elements and lore that you'll see and consequences with your actual choices that will make it so that when you actually play the game in your second, third, or fourth playthrough, in theory, you will have a whole different experience. And to me, that sounds amazing compared to a lot of the video games that we've been getting lately with reused assets and the same type of stories just rehashed, really just relaunched. So in my opinion, a new IP in which is made by the Witcher developers sounds amazing to me because I know they have a lot of attention to detail when it comes to video games. Now, as we get closer to 2026, more details are going to come out to the surface about Dawnwalker. And this is one of those games where the details actually matter. If you want grounded, research-driven breakdowns that will actually hit, make sure that you go ahead and smash that subscribe button. You won't see the hype on this one yet, but make sure that you hit that notification bell so that when I drop another follow-up video for Dawnwalker when they release a little bit more material, you're one of the first ones to lock in with Sneaker Dog Gaming. We're going to be covering a lot of different topics here on the channel, so I want you guys to tap in with that. Back to Dawnwalker. There has been a few different trailers dropped. I've dropped a little bit of footage here, and it's an amalgamation of what you'll actually see in the game. Now, there's a few trailers I didn't add in here just because it wouldn't fit with the actual timing of this video, but we'll add them in the second video and third cumulative video when more material comes out, or if I want to do a really, really strong deep dive into the material that they have right now. And there is actually a lot of it. So we should be able to create maybe another video or two just based off some of the lore that was exposed in some of the gameplay that we've seen. There was a few trailers that really dive deep into why he's actually a Dawnwalker and who he's trying to protect in his village. He's really trying to get his family back, and that's what kind of the pivotal nature of the story is going to be. Honestly, Dawnwalker for 2026 is one of my highlighted games, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they have and what they've come up with from the studio that was behind Witcher, the developers. Now, I feel like the Rebel Studio seems like they're paying a lot of attention, and I said this a little bit a few minutes ago in the video, but I want to rehash this just a touch. I feel like they do have an attention to detail with the community, and they're adjusting the game, and when they dropped another trailer, it looked better. And honestly, the polish of the game with this early pre-alpha stuff that we're able to actually look at, the game looks very highly polished for this to be coming out to the public this early. Now, we are in 2026 now, so it is probably highly likely that we're going to see another Dawnwalker video here within the next month or so before the actual game gets released. Now, my predictions for that will be an actual heavy story trailer where we'll be able to see what Cohen is actually dealing with when it comes to the lineage of these vampires and what it means to be a Dawnwalker. So, is Dawnwalker flying under the radar, or do you think it's being overhyped too early? In my opinion, I feel like Dawnwalker is being received exactly how it's supposed to. People who are into these type of games, they're looking forward to it like me. I have actually been looking forward to this game since they announced it, and I can't wait for more footage. If you guys love this content, go ahead and smack that like button. Again, hit that subscribe button and make sure that you slam that notification bell so you can go ahead and catch every video that we drop breaking down all the hottest games here on the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one.